Hey there, I'm Herb Phillips, and this is my Toyota pickup truck. This is an original paint example, never had an accident, and it's completely rust-free. This is a DLX model, so it basically got every factory option you could get. So it's got the factory alloys, it's got the stripe kit, it's an extended cab, and it got power windows and locks and mirrors, which was a thing back then. The truck's completely stock, so the stereo is original, it's never been changed, it works great. It's got the optional CD player, steering wheel controls. Seats are in great shape. Here's the little rear area. I have the original owner's manuals, and I have some service records on it as well. It's got 152,000 original miles. Here's the VIN number. It's a 1991 model, manufactured in August of '90. And here's the bottom of the driver door, which ordinarily, if you're going to have rust in a vehicle, you're going to see it begin on the bottoms of the doors, where condensation just builds up and they rust. This was a Texas truck all of its life, and it just moved to Tennessee, so thankfully it's pretty well preserved. Factory power antenna still works. Here's a view of the passenger side. Door panel is pretty much mint, and here's a view of the under passenger door. And if you look at the undercarriage, here's the frame. It's perfect, not a speck of rust on it at all. The paint's original. There are a couple of spots like this where the paint is literally worn down to the primer. I could have touched it up, I could have spotted it in, but I didn't, because I just wanted somebody to see that it was in fact all original. Even the bed's in pretty nice shape. Factory sliding rear window. I'm gonna pop the hood and show you the engine. Tires look like they were just replaced. I think the prior owner replaced them right before they sold this truck to us. Bear with me 1 second. So this is the original V6. It's fuel injected. We just did a major service on it. New plugs, wires, cap, new fuel injectors, all 6, new fuel pump. We had to have the ECU rebuilt and reprogrammed for the fuel injection system. It's got a new clutch, new throwout bearing. Just did an oil change. It's had brakes all the way around. Prior owner did these tires about 500 miles ago, front and rear. Here's the original vacuum hose diagram. I'm going to start the car, or truck should I say, from cold, just to give you an idea of how it really and truly behaves. You can see the power antenna just went up. Factory stereo works great. I've got the air on, and the air is nice and cold. I just put a new muffler and tailpipe on this truck too. You're hearing a little bit of reverberation because I'm backed up against a hill. You can see the alternator's probably producing about 17 volts, and it's thermostat stone cold, and looks like oil pressure is at about 65% or so. Even the clock works. So the engine runs great. I don't have any fluid leaks. Brake fluid's crystal clear. All the bolts under the hood look like they're from day one. The reason I show you these bolts is because if you had a rusty vehicle, the first thing you worry about is rusty bolts because you can't turn them. This is an original Toyota bumper, step bumper is what they called it. Here's the sides of the bed. Here's the bottom of the rear door. The bed is like beautiful. Doesn't look like anybody's ever towed anything with it. Here's the rear tread. Overall, this 1991 pickup truck looks like it's about 3 years old, in my opinion. It's almost like somebody got a time machine and just went back to 1991 and bought a truck and mothballed it. I've driven this truck on the highway, 70 miles an hour. It drives great. All the synchros on the transmission are perfect. Headliner's great. There are no cigarette odors in this truck whatsoever. And it looks like the lighter's never been used. Air's good and cold. Obviously we've been running it for a couple minutes now. Temperature's good, oil pressure's great. Visors. Anyway, hopefully this is kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at, and if you'd like for me to take any specific pictures, I'm happy to. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a great weekend.